Assalamu alaikum, Ola, good evening, and welcome back again. And big hi from Global Society of Human Capital Management, the leading human capital society for HR professionals all across the globe. Today, we bring to you a fantastic lineup of speakers. Basically, these are the core group members of Abu Dhabi Chapter of Global Society of Human Capital Management. Since we started 2008 onwards, the Global Society of Human Capital Management, which was earlier known as Majlis Society for Human Capital Management, we have been doing a lot of initiative. One is having a chapters all across the globe. Now, these chapters are there in the country of all across the globe, and these country chapters are run by the chapter chairperson, and we will take through you to various other initiatives which we are doing in the Global Society Human Capital Management. Today, we're going to have a discussion on some of the very important topic of one of the chapter, that is the Abu Dhabi chapter, and the lineup of speakers they're going to talk about what are the challenges the current economy is facing, the HR professionals are facing, the business professionals are facing, and then how they are going to mitigate the risk. And of course, the Abu Dhabi chapter chairperson, Mr. Muhammad Salim Al-Bishr, he's going to take us through a journey that what are the plans are there for the Abu Dhabi chapter and what they're going to do for next couple of 2 quarters. So with this, I welcome all members. So today we have got with us is Miss Sana Bagresh. She is one of the leading think tank in innovation and strategy, and she has been leading major initiatives all across the globe and especially in Abu Dhabi. And she's going to talk about one of our very unique initiatives, which is going to is going to transform the way things are happening. And then we have got Mr. Muhammad Salim, our wonderful chapter chairperson from Abu Dhabi, and Muhammad Abu Isa. Muhammad Abu Isa is one of the leading HR professionals from Abu Dhabi, and he is a total reward specialist. And Miss Manal, and she is wonderful HR leader from Abu Dhabi. So before we begin, let me welcome all of you. And before I hand over the mic and everything better for today's evening, so let's hear from all of us, all of the today's attendees, that about a brief about them, what they are doing, and before we plunge into the discussion. Miss Sana.
Can you hear me? Everybody can hear me? Okay.
Yes,
So I think there is no question that we're all going through unprecedented changes, and we're talking about everything. You know, it touches all of the industries that we're talking about. It covers governance. It covers human capital. So it's something that has, honestly, COVID has disrupted things across the board. So Sandeep, to answer your question, what we're focusing on now is think tanking, basically, just what you said, and looking at what kind of solutions we need to develop and launch to be able to take care of the current situation, to address some of these challenges that are happening. And this is everything from communication to strategy to operations as well. So this, I think, is one of the major pivots that I've made, at least within my career in the last, I would say, 6 months.
Thank you, Ms. Sarah. And Muhammad Abu Isa.
Yes. Assalamu alaikum. And with regards to what Ms. Sana started about unprecedented situation with the COVID-19, which hits during this year earlier, before 6-7 months from now, actually many companies and many businesses were infected. Economies and countries were infected by this, other than families and, let's say, if we are looking inside any business or any industry, how much it was infected by COVID-19, we shall study, let's say, how to support the business, enable the business uh, for the future. Actually, HR, before a few years from now, at the time we were looking at HR, we were hearing that some jobs in the future will vanish. By COVID-19, what we have seen during the previous months, that HR is still the main enabler for any business to sustain for the future. And during these periods, many companies, they were looking at their strategies and their policies, how it will be looking after the business, how it will support the business for the future. In today's discussion, we'll be focusing at these areas and how HR is the backbone for any business. Back to you,
Fantastic.
Sandeep.
Thank you, Muhammad. Miss Mana, let's hear from you.
Yes.
Tell us about yourself.
My name is Manan Mohammed. I'm working in Salat, and I handle it. I'm working at HR recruitment. I handle it amortization specialist, and also I handle it for all the. I have contact with the Mohri, and to. I have responsibility. I handle it with the sorry, I'm sorry, I confused it. I handle it with the I hire the national, the UAE national from the university. I collect the fresh graduated, and I handle it the GT program. That's it.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And now, finally, we have with us Mr. Muhammad Salim, our chapter chairperson of Abu Dhabi. And from here on, he will take on for some time.
Thank you, Sandeep. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Good evening and good morning for some of you on other side of the world. Welcome to our live here today. I'm glad actually to have you all, and with our special guest and speaker. Appreciate your time. As Mr. Sandeep, our global society was formed in 2008, and earlier was named by Mishram. Our global society human capital management has a total of 35 chapters around the globe. We have actually in UAE two main chapters, Abu Dhabi and Dubai. The Abu Dhabi chapter was formed in 2010, and the total members around the globe is around 50,000. Our activity in our society is mentoring. We have actually a توجيه program, HR Majlises. We are running the virtual Majlises. Previously, we used to have it in one place. Due to this pandemic time, we're running it virtually. And we have also an annual award for corporate awards. Also, we have individual award and annual conference. The platform we use networking and knowledge sharing and mutual support. So our renewal services coming up is a Tawasul, the human capital management, etc. The accept new letter will be launched shortly, and annually or annual award 2020 will be launched by this month in 2021. Mentoring to be launched in October 2020, inshallah. And virtual, we will be handling a virtual job fair, which will be launched in next year, 2021. So hopefully, inshallah, all these programs and initiatives success. And we appreciate your support and your collaboration on this. We also will be doing national development of the pre-training. So with our partner and companies, friends, we will be supporting the nationals to provide the training which can support them in their career. Sandeep, the mic back to you.
Thank you. So I just bring back some old memories, Basalim. Doesn't this?
Yes.
So this was our Middle East Society for Human Resource Management, and now we are back here, and we have got fantastic lineup of activities. And Shukran, thank you, Basalim, and you have brought us a lot of initiatives. We've got a huge number of initiatives coming up from the Global Society of Human Capital Management this year. We've got awards coming up. We have got corporate awards, individual awards. Then we have got Tawjee program is going to be announced very soon. Then we've got a lineup of, the online job fairs and all, fantastic line of activities. Now, before we proceed into that, and we're going to discuss about a lot of issues and plans, which we'll hear from Salim. Let's hear what the challenges, what we are facing right now. So the topic is very apt right now, and for today's discussion is jobs and entrepreneurship. Now let's hear from all the speakers what their views about the current situation right now. How the business are coping up, how the business are getting up on their feet right now. Sana.
I've been meeting with policymakers, with executives, and also with entrepreneurs over the last several weeks, months actually. And you can see there is a very, very clear shift. We know that a lot of people have been let go. We know others have been furloughed. And that has created a lot of insecurity as well. So there are people who don't know whether to remain in the country or to leave. They don't know whether there's an opportunity here, where their jobs will come back. So there's a lot of insecurity within the labor market. Within some of the private and public institutions, the larger ones as well, there has been a lot of downscaling of positions. And I've learned from people in various industries that in some cases, salaries have been brought down, or people have been told to maybe take on more responsibilities because others have been, terminated. So there is a lot of flux, and there's a lot of change happening. And I think what we need to do is we need to first understand and recognize that this is happening, just so we can bolster capabilities, we can upskill, and we can manage some of the expectations as well. We know, for instance, that when we talk about employed versus entrepreneurs, these are two very, very different dynamics, and so with people who are employed, they tend to be a little bit more vulnerable in many cases because they may not have the skills to set up a business right away. So here, I think it's very important, and for me as a proponent, as a very long time proponent of entrepreneurship and intrapreneurship, I think it's very important for anyone, whether they are working in any entity, to be able to potentially set up their own side business. They call it side hustle, they call it, whatever it is, but to be able to ensure you have other revenue streams. And so that I think would be the most critical thing that I would tell people is you really need to open up your eyes, your minds, you change your mindsets, understand that we are going through a lot of change, and know what kind of things to do right now to be able to manage some of these issues and to mitigate some of these risks as well.
Thank you, Sana. Mohammed, what's your take on the current situation right now in Abu Dhabi?
Actually, looking at the companies and looking at the business and the economy itself. Likewise, what Sana has, let's say, provided us with many details regarding the situation itself. I can summarize what's going on with the business, that there is there is uncertainty going in the market, which is there is a few industries which has been a huge impact based on COVID-19. These companies, they are, let's say, still moving or processing with uncertainty for the future. Some businesses, which is a few, it has been, let's say, benefited from COVID-19. I hear some of these, let's say, app companies who developed an app. They hit the business plan for 10 years ahead during COVID-19, which is unlike most of the business. Most of the business,
Right.
what we heard from Sana, that there is unclear regarding the job security situation in many companies. Some of the employees, they were let go or laid off of their business. Most of the companies, they were focusing on the competencies, which is multi-skilling by the employees. So instead of keeping the entire team, I will be looking at the team who can perform during this situation with lower costs. This is what happened during the previous months by some businesses. So what we can, let's say, hear from various management and executives about they are going into a new shape of shaping their strategies, their policies, to be more adaptive for the future, to capture unprecedented situations in the future. This is the thing that many of the management of the companies, they were studying recently. And let's say I hear many of the companies who were sustained during COVID-19, they are looking at as engagement, let's say, opportunity to engage their employees. They sustained with a few employees, and they are trying their best nowadays to engage their team for the future. This is how I can look at it from various angles.
We can't hear you, Sandeep. Your mic is off.
Sorry. I'm saying, Busalim, what's your take on what's happening in Abu Dhabi? Give us a holistic picture.
Actually, as my colleague said, not all the sectors affected in Abu Dhabi. The sector that provide services, they use or they utilize their services or transform their services to digitalization. So this who was able, or the company, they were able to transform their services to digital. They catch up and they make some profit out of this pandemic period. In other sectors, like properties, there was actually a reduction in these sectors. But due to the people and the people, they are scared to invest maybe, or to they don't know what is going to happen, so that's why it reduced. And the HR itself, you can see the most of the company that they transform their operation to a digital, or they use the new technologies. They were able to continue providing their services even in better and faster way. So I believe that the old routine work, it will not continue in coming days. The more the digital or digitized people, it's required more. You can see from the analysis that more the future job, it will be towards electronics and digital and IT things. So most of the services will be provided through the chatbots, through the IBR, even the help desk, it will be automated. So there will be no human being agent will answer the calls. It will be a robotics basically. And I believe it will be for a better service, and it will increase also the cap.
Shukran, Abu Salim. Abu Salim, and now, given this factors now, I think so the main theme is emerging is job insecurity, which is coming up. Some companies are benefiting out of it. Then Sana came out that people need to upskill themselves. There's a space on that area. Then from the entrepreneurship side, Sana said about that people need to see the gaps and identify the opportunity. Muhammad Abu Isa said that yes, there's a churn is going on, but yes, some sectors have extremely benefited, during this post-COVID-19 or during this COVID-19. Now, given this fact, what kind of a structure support the HR community can provide or to these trying times, in terms of for the employee engagement? Sana, you can give some thought about innovation, what kind of innovation they can bring about. And then Muhammad Salim, you can tell us about something about what is, because you are handling the innovation, I know, in Etisalat. And tell us about something about how innovation can support, can help organization to transform and take the opportunity in these trying times. Sana.
One of the most amazing things about at least Abu Dhabi is that many of the government entities have access to free Coursera courses. And many of them are very advanced courses, and others are very focused on specific skill building sessions. What HR can do is it can encourage staff to develop themselves. And I'll tell you why it is so important to do that. I'll give you a scenario. So you have someone who is working for government, right? And there is the introduction of remote work. So this person is very excited that they're going to be working from home, which is an amazing thing because it gives you the freedom to work from home or work from the office as well. It's an amazing thing. However, you start thinking about remote workers are very much driven by very specific deliverables, right? So it doesn't matter at some point how many hours you put, how long, where you work from. What the entity focuses on is deliverables. So if that is the case, then you have to think about the following scenarios, right? At some point, there may be somebody who can deliver exactly what you are delivering, but they might be from the Philippines or from India or from the US or from Singapore. They might be able to do it faster. They might be able to do it cheaper, and they might even be able to do it better. So the fact that you are working from home actually puts you on the same level as contract workers or the giggers. We're talking about the gig economy. And it's so important for people to realize that the world is moving to a gig economy.
Right.
And most of us are going to become contract workers. Whether we like it or not, we're going to become contract workers because of technology.
That's the new reality. Yeah.
That's the new reality. And so before, we're talking about some of the things that are happening in Silicon Valley, for example. Many of the companies have used to hire around, San Francisco and, that area. But now the rent has become cheaper. Why? Because they don't feel like they have to have people working within that area. They can hire people from far away. What COVID has taught everyone is that you don't need to be in an office to produce like everyone else. But the problem here is you shouldn't be complacent, because it means if you can work remotely, so can everyone else. And your company at some point will decide to get, maybe to swap you because they don't need you to come into the office. And I really would very, very, very strongly advise Emiratis here, other nationals within each of their own countries, be sure to upskill, because now you're not only competing with people in your country, you are competing globally.
100%. I'm with you. Very rightly pointed out, Sana, that the contract employment and even hourly based employment is a norm now. I've been seeing in UK it's going on for ages, and in US it's going for ages. But in the Middle East area, we are not used to it because we are used to, 2 years contract, long-term contract, that's the new reality. And I think so. The HR in the Middle East needs to see that there is an opportunity in this area, contract employment, hourly employment, and there's no shame, everybody does his work, on hourly basis, and then they get paid. Now, this is the new scenario which is coming up. Muhammad Abu Isa, tell us about
Yes.
what's
Actually,
happening.
yeah, if we are starting from, we started talking about the picture from outside, from the market outlook, looking at the situation, looking at COVID-19, the effect and the impact of it, the pros and cons of COVID-19. Actually, if we are moving back to looking at the HR perspective, Sana started with the scenarios of let's say contracts. We can have various types of contracts, which is our based contracts, working from home or working remotely. These are another scenarios has been created post COVID-19. But actually, looking at other angles, if the organizations will still run the business likewise before, I think this is an area of risk for the future. It's identified as risk. Looking at a sustainable, how to manage a sustainable business for the future, we will be looking at our operating models, how it's the organization performance. It's all the way from the balance scorecard and until the individual contract will be well studied in advance to ensure that we are meeting our vision and mission and hitting the targets for the business. This is another angle that we shall be looking at it, which is holistic from the business top all the way down until every single individual in the company, how they are contributing and towards what. And let's say based on upskilling the employees, it's now becoming something very important to look at the competencies and how our employees are working together to achieve their targets, the business targets, and all on the same board to achieve, let's say, the business sustainability for the future. This is another area that we shall be looking at it, other than looking at the micro level, at the strategies, policies, and the practices that we have in the company. So from holistic point of view, operating models are important for the future to be studied for any
Right.
business. Outsourcing, likewise, what you have mentioned, also another area that we can utilize during this period. This period, I can summarize it as we can refresh our organization, we can refresh our strategies and our targets for the future. So
One more thing, before I give a comment, we have got one gentleman who joined us, Hassan Amin, brother, and Hassan Amin is the chapter chairperson of Dubai chapter of Global Society Human Capital Management. So we invited him, and he will throw us some initiative what we are doing in Dubai. For your information, Hassan, we have just been discussing about what the new challenges, the post-COVID is emerging, and now what is the current situation in Abu Dhabi, very specific to Abu Dhabi, what's happening, and how HR community, that is the Global Society Human Capital Management, can provide support, help, and directions, and how they can advise the HR community at large. Yes, coming to Muhammad Abu Isa, one thing that I have seen that's emerging very clearly is a lot of companies have started thinking of offshoring work, to places like what Sana was saying, to Philippines, to India, to Asia. That's the new trend. That's offshoring of work, like your back end operation of your e-commerce, back end operation of your data, back end operation of your finance management, and some strategy part of it that has been kept within the organization. Muhammad Salim, tell us about how things are emerging.
Yes, actually, I totally agree with what my colleague said, Ms. Sana and Abu Isa. They are right. Actually, you need to have a lot of innovation these days in these companies in many areas. Not only how to applying the work or how to engage in the people. I know it's very hard to keep engage your team or your colleague in same pandemic period, which we are already far away from each other. So most of the engagement thing will be digital, and it will be online. So I believe that many companies, they have to invest and to change their old routine or regular team that they were providing the normal support to the company. We need actually people to think how we can reach to the employees to their handset. We need to have more application. We need to open the innovation, and we need to listen to the people what they need, and to be very close to them. Uh, if we say towards engagement, I know many of the companies, if they are doing or they are measuring their engagement, it will reduce. This is normal, not only in UAE, in Abu Dhabi or Dubai, but I think in all the world. We need to keep the employee engaged by set or by applying different methodologies. It's no more, let us say, hierarchy, or it's no more by keeping the employee or the staff 8 hours or 9 hours. It is how the employee produce, or what employee produce within the time or the certain time. So I believe that we need to go by quantity, not by time, which we need a lot of innovation. I know we need more entrepreneur in the work. We need a new or fresh blood that can come and transform the way that we work. And I believe that many companies, if they did not change the way that they are working, they will be no more there, or they will have a lot of what you call, I don't want to say lose for coming years. Hopefully, many people or many companies, I hope the CEOs, the GMs, and many organizations in Abu Dhabi or around the world, around the globe, to go and to do this transformation fast, to support their entrepreneur, to take or to listen to them and implement these ideas. Because if we sit and we continue the work like what we are doing, it will not work. And as Abu Isa said, we need to have different kind of contract for the employees. As Sana said, we have maybe someone from Philippines can do the work in better way and faster way, and maybe in cheaper also. So we need actually to rebuild or to re-enhance our policies in HR to accept or to adapt these methodologies. Like there is no harm, as you said, Sandeep, in Middle East we don't have this, but I think some company they will start doing this actually. Like I will have an employee hired for me for maybe 4 hours. Within that 4 hours, he will be producing something for me. After that, he will be producing or he will be working with other company. So
And
I
I hope not. Etisalat is going for this way.
yes, actually, Salat is one of the major companies that
Yeah.
what you call that they do or they adopt the technologies. So hopefully, not only the technologies, we will be number one in the Middle East. Hopefully, even in the methodology or the way that we put the policies, like we will be like what you call best practice implementer in Middle East, inshallah.
So that's a direct challenge to the do, right? Do telecom.
Yes, you can say that. It's not only do it with many entity actually. It will be with many entity, but I am sure that with the right with our management that we can go. Actually, we have done a good job the last 2 quarters, and inshallah we will continue the same.
Fantastic. I was about to ask uh, Hassan, what's happening in Dubai. Hassan, you're there? What's happening in?
Sorry, and Assalamu alaikum to everyone.
عليك السلام.
Assalamu alaikum to everyone. Sorry, there was some technical issues with me, and now I think it should be fine. So, Sandeep, what was your question?
So I'm saying what is happening in Dubai as compared to Abu Dhabi? How things are spanning out? How things are happening, emerging after this COVID-19. I know that UAE has taken a lead in terms of energizing and bringing back industry organization to life. So what's happening in Dubai? So this we heard about Abu Dhabi.
I think we are learning from Abu Dhabi, and we are learning from everywhere. But what is happening in Dubai is, I think people are more competent enough now, working, from outside office, working from home, working from cafes, working from friends' home. So people are competent enough for this to continue. And people are asking and requesting for this to continue for the rest of the year. I think, and the organization are taking percentage-wise, they are taking steps on how to control this. In a sense, like 50-50, 50% are working from home, 50% are working in office, and so on. And the organization here in Dubai, I have seen everyone is working 100%, wherever they are. If they are working from home, they are 100%, or if they are working in office, they are 100%. The work doesn't stop. The business doesn't stop. Everything goes on. So this is life all about, that the industry shall go on, and everyone should be positive enough to take this challenge as an opportunity and grow. So I think,
Hassan, we are not able to hear you clearly. There's some technology disruption is there. Okay, now we heard about from all what's happening and how the organization they are getting themselves on the feet, and how they are trying to realign themselves, restructure themselves, and refocusing themselves, reorganizing themselves, and re-innovating themselves within the organization, and how they are making it, making the best use of the time and the opportunity. Now, given this scenario, just wanted to hear from all of you. Mohammed Salim, now you have to take on from here. That let's hear from Hassan first. Hassan, you are there? No. What the business or expects from the HR community, like a platform like this? What we can provide to them. We do it. You do it, HR Majlis, right, in Abu Dhabi, which is going to come up very soon, next month or next month, and we're going to bring up line of speakers and all. What else the HR community can do? Especially the Abu Dhabi chapter can do for the community and the business in the Abu Dhabi region. And anything you have got some plans, and then we can pick some brain on from Sana, and then we can listen from Muhammad Abu Isa. What is the expectations from the the HR community or non-HR community people? Yeah, Muhammad Salim.
Yes, indeed. Actually, what we need, or our HR team or our HR people to do, is to provide training, let us say clarification, or to communicate to the staff, especially the senior staff, about the new way of providing the service or to work. It's not only a training, it should be like a workshop also, because I know it's not easy in some function to give this kind of training. Although all the corporates, as my colleague said, they provide some free online training, free workshop, we got a lot of training from regulatory, for example, from from the government sector, Ministry of Education. They provided many trainings online or virtual trainings. Even in the sport, there was a lot of competition or challenges doing it virtually from the home, which is good actually, but we need to educate the people about these kind of activities. So I commissioning very important to educate the people, especially the senior guys. Secondly, we need to change the process actually of doing things. We need to automate these processes. We need to use lean methodology to put 2 or 3 processes in one. So it will help the companies to have a better production or better services, or to improve the services and reduce the time. Also, it will utilize the people. Like when you, most of the time, when you digitalize a function, the people in that function, they will have we need to and for the company.
Right.
Are you still there? You are hearing me?
Yeah, I can hear. There was some technology disruption was there. So you mean to say that for the HR community that can provide to the larger business, larger HR platform was to provide something unique kind of a training, right?
Yes.
And we can bring about some industry experts, make some talks about some good practices, what they are delivering in their organization. Let's hear from Sana. What is the expected by the community? How the what the HR society, like a chapter, like an Abu Dhabi chapter, they can provide? What support they can provide?
I'm going to be very tough.
Yeah.
And I might hurt some people's feelings, but I'll tell you what I think. Right now, there is lack of knowledge, lack of direction. Everything is so ambiguous. So we are going through a time of considerable change, and there has to be a leadership vision for steering this HR ship forward. And I'll tell you why. So HR should be the hub of these ideas. It should bring policymakers. It should bring IT. It should bring the other integrators. There should be a task force. In my view, all of you guys for each of these chapters should create a task force to develop a document, a guiding document to help steer through these times. And the reason is HR normally looks at HR things. IT looks at IT things. The management has a broad vision, but they don't know the key issues. So with something that comes together and you create a policy document, you have a roundtable bringing some of these issues, you can create a charter to move forward. In the past few weeks, we've been looking at what some of the companies are doing with regards to remote work. Remote work is creating a lot of freedom, but it also affects work-life balance.
Right.
This is a critical issue. This is very critical. So there are people who are going through mental issues. Why? Because they feel like their work is at home, their play is at home, everything is at home. And we know COVID is a very transitory thing. It's something that will go. But there is going to be a very strong movement towards remote work. How do we manage remote work going forward? And here we've done a couple of studies of some of the more visionary companies. So what they're doing, I'll tell you some of the examples, is a very big company. They have branches all over the world. They have HR sessions where the staff come together. They have clubs. They have online clubs. So there's an art club. There's a cooking club, believe it or not. There's a yoga session. There is, and one of the companies has 10 hours with a counselor.
Oh,
You have 10 hours a month with a counselor who will sit and listen to your stress, will listen to your issues, and that is provided free of charge by the company. So in my view, you really need to figure this out, and nobody's going to figure it out. HR has to figure it out. You guys have to be the central hub that brings in all of the elements and creates a very strategic vision for how to develop manpower, how to manage human resources, and how to make humans happy while being very productive. And it's a very tall order. We're talking about something that is extremely
Absolutely.
strategic. But it will not happen by anywhere else. It has to start in HR.
Yeah. So that's the brilliant idea. And thank you for this. And you've not been tough. You've been very constructively tough. That's a take which I say. And that's a very brilliant idea and a great idea, to have next HR Majlis for Abu Dhabi circling around the topic like, the good practices about remote working. You rightly brought out, a lot of people are so much stressed today while working, remotely, because, these poor guys I've seen in Ramadan time, people are, after prayer, and after Fajr, they are about to sleep. And then the boss calls and says, hey guys, you are just at home. What's the point? You are there at home. You can take my call for, another 1 hour, half an hour or 2 hours. But he does not see that the guy is already stressed out. He is doing his work. Then he needs to spend his time with the family. He does not have a defined time. You are breaking his schedule, and you are making him totally disrupt his entire work schedule, which is very bad. And I think so. A lot of companies, you have very rightly brought out, Sana, the stigma of seeking counseling. That needs to be removed. And that needs to, anybody and everybody, if somebody is stressed out, not feeling well, should be able to walk up to the counselor and say that, hey guys, I need help. Can you help me? If that kind of environment HR can create, that will be a wonderful value addition from the point of view of employee well-being, work-life balance. So I think that's a very good thing emerging, Basalim. So you can think about this, and you can bring about speakers and all circling around that. You can have, series of talks, say, spread across, a couple of days in a week, saying that today there is a theme about the work-life balance. Tomorrow is about the psychological disorders at the workplace, or psychological health, and how to do it. Then another theme could be engaging them. And another theme could be, creating a collective, inclusive vision for making organization better. I think that's a lot of ideas you have given, Sana. Thank you for that. Muhammad.
Yeah, appreciate. Just I need Sandeep to add one more this one to what Ms. Sana said. Like she's right actually. Now, when we are talking about training the staff or developing the staff or arranging training for them. Actually, I think we need a coaching session for the management, for the bosses. You need to change their attitude, the way that they deal with the staff there, because some of them are still in the mentality that, as you said, in Ramadan, maybe after Fajr prayer, he's texting or calling maybe, or sending emails because something came in his mind.
Yeah, and you expect
I agree with you. I totally agree.
Yeah, and I think so. Circling around that, and most important thing is we need to come out with, some of the talks that HR needs to stand up and stand tall, stand fat, not just, looking after their jobs or responsibilities, saying, I have a next promotion coming up, so let me zip my mouth and let me bother about my area domain. They need to stand up, strong, tall, stand tall, stand fat, and say spade a spade. More diplomatically. You don't have to be a bull in the Chinatown, but you can definitely pass a lot of messages through informal and a formal way. And one of this, very rightly, one of the good ideas is to create a policy document. Why not to have a policy document on work from home? Design it. What do's, what don'ts. A lot of things. Yeah, Muhammad Abisa, what is expectation from the HR community at large?
Actually, I would like to comment on what you have said earlier, which is very right. Which at the time we are having a new project, usually we tend to have, at the time we are forming a team, to have what's so-called devil associate. We need someone to stop us, tell us that you are doing wrong, in a direct manner, which is he will or she will stand and tell that this thing is wrong. This is at the time we are forming a team. We need someone within the team to be the devil associate, which is he will support us in brainstorming what's so-called. Actually, I would like to thank Sana for bringing many ideas, and Abu Salim to support her. Actually, looking at the chapter, Abu Dhabi chapter itself, first and foremost, it's learning platform. At the time we are let's say interacting at let's say the group itself, we are finding many resources, let's say shared by many experts and gurus in HR, which is related to HR. So this is a learning platform for everyone in the group, something that we need to capitalize on. One of the areas that we can, let's say, also utilize from the group itself, benchmarking studies. We are paying much, and companies are paying much for benchmarking studies. So these benchmarking studies are available, or let's say it can be sourced by the team to share knowledge, which is the knowledge which is not confidential knowledge, the knowledge which can be shared for benchmarking studies through the chapter itself. Alongside HR trends, we shall capture it in somehow a newsletter for this chapter. We have many trends in the HR and in Abu Dhabi mainly. So we can have such a newsletter, which is a monthly newsletter. What's the trends? What's the new practice that we have? What's the new guidelines that we have? This is another thing that we can do. Alongside what Abu Salim mentioned earlier, related to training of fresh graduates or these idle resources in the market or in the economy itself. It's something good to look at these fresh graduates in total, to support them with a sort of a training, or let's say offer them a hand to start their career in the market, or to, let's say, to introduce them to be entrepreneurs in the market, or let's say to start their own business. This is something that we shall look after. I think one last thing which is related to our practices, which is Majlis. Likewise, what you have mentioned, these brainstorming sessions are important to introduce new areas, to let's say to capitalize on current practices here and there. Mainly the areas that we have touched upon today, which is the well-being initiatives and the practices across various companies. It's good to have it through, let's say, such a platform, share it with the teams, and to use it in our companies, to customize it to be a best practice in our companies. So this is what's summarize my expectations from that chapter. Thank you, Sandeep.
Now we've got one very fantastic comment coming up from Hamis Al-Shuaibi. Hamis Al-Shuaibi is a general manager of HR from Oman, and he is general manager HR for Oman Oil. And he says that productivity will be the right tool to defend the well-engaged employees, regardless of the place they work in or from. Agreed? Disagree? Who's going to take on? Sana?
It's one of the main indicators that the employee is engaged or passionate about his job to achieve and excel. I agree that it's one of the key indicators that it's supporting the engagement.
Yeah. Sana?
I'd like to touch on something Abu Salim said a little while ago, which is very critical. And what he said was we need to also train the managers. And this is very, very key to any kind of success for the program. Because if staff are working from home and the manager keeps calling them at all odd hours, it sets the culture. It just shapes the whole culture. So here you need to make sure that everyone is on the same page, because right now, honestly, management is confused. People at the top of the ladder don't know how to manage this issue. So it's extremely important to engage everyone across the hierarchy. And also my suggestion also to all of you HR professionals is, in these majlises, bring people from other departments into the discussion so that you can have a very valuable cross discussion and you can hear some of their issues. And so one quick example is, my company, we provided a government entity with a platform for managing remote workers. This is for freelancers and others. IT loved it. They said, this is exactly what we want because it matches KPIs. We know what people are doing, what software is being used, but we cannot initiate it. It has to be initiated by the business owner.
Yes.
And so it's so important to bring in all of the different entities, even in your majlises. Hear from others' problems, hear their ideas, so that you will be able to create solutions that match everybody's expectations and their needs as well.
Thank you, Sana. That's again a very, very constructive thought process. And let's hear from Hassan. What's happening in Abu Dhabi chapter, and what you guys are going to do in next couple of quarters? Next two quarters.
Yeah, what's happening in Dubai chapter?
Yes.
Not Abu Dhabi chapter. Yeah, so I think we have a great team now. We have formed a great team from all over. I think we have a diversified team, people from different continents as well. We have Arabs, we have Asians, and we have, I think, Westerners as well. We have formed a good team of HR, and we had a meeting last week, and we have decided that we go ahead in the next 2 quarters to, I think, a new HR Majlis is coming up, a virtual HR Majlis, where we'll be live and we'll be talking about what are the different benefits, and also what are the positive side, and also, I would say, challenge side of working from home, and how people can, or the companies or industries can move ahead during these challenging times. And also, what are the new trends in the market? What is agile people are talking about? What is big data people are talking about? What is AI has to do in these times? So all these areas, we want to touch upon these areas, and we want to bring in speakers from different expertise, who have different industry expertise, to come in and talk about these areas, what they are doing, and how we can learn from it, and how we can apply at our workplace. So these are some of the trends. I think two majlises will surely happen in the next 2 quarters, and one is, I think, hopefully by mid-September or by the 3rd week of September, we should launch soon.
That's great. I think you must have got some great ideas today from Sana, from Abu Isa, and Rasalin. You must have got some great ideas. Sana, you would like to sum up today any great ideas, thoughts before we conclude? Because we got 2 minutes to close.
Sorry, me?
Yeah.
What I think, just to conclude, is we all realize that it is a time of great change, but it's very important to bring all the right people to the table, just so we capture all of the different directions that are happening. We need to make sure that management is aligned, and we need to make sure that whatever solutions, products, other things, also integrate things like KPIs, benchmarking, that sort of thing. The other thing, at an individual level, it's very important for HR to expand their role, not only focus on training, but focus on well-being as well. For the employee, it's important to be abreast of all of the changes that are happening in order to be able to be competitive, not just within your organization, but cross-organization and potentially globally, because outsourcing and contract work will expand the scope of this. So my strong advice to all of you out there is you really need to be in the know, and you have to really start upskilling now.
Thank you, Sana. Muhammad Abu Isa, you'd like to conclude shortly? Yeah, you are mute.
It's a couple of words to summarize. It's the time for collaboration. Collaboration is important to let's say to introduce and to excel, to introduce the changes which is required and to excel in whatever we are doing. And at the same time, thinking out of the box is important. Automation, digitalization, changing the way that we were doing the things, the norms and the routines, to break it and to come up with something different. This is a summary of what I'm thinking for the future. Summarize the entire session for today. And thank you, Sandeep and the chapter for this opportunity.
Thank you. Bushal, conclude.
Yes, indeed. I would like to thank you all for your thoughts, your points. I'm glad actually to hear this from you. And I agree with all of you what you said. And yes, to answer Shaibi question, productivity is very important at the coming stage. So I believe that not only like my brother Hassan said, they will bring or they will see for the best practices and they will utilize the AI. Actually, we need to start. We supposed started like 1 month back and applying these. If we did not, we will be in a bad situation in the coming month actually. So it is not easy, and it is not by like do it will come. It will take time, as we said. It's not only one dimension. It's people, system, management, documentation, policy. So all of you, yes, right. We need to brainstorm this and put each and everything in the right direction. So I believe that to create a manual, then put a policy, then start even in our hierarchy, in the companies, the hierarchy, the total hierarchy will change. If you notice before some time, Mr. Rashid Al-Abbar changed or removed the title from Amar companies. So that means everyone will be working with his, let's say, thumb, or with his productivity he can deliver to the company. So it will not be a designation. It will be what you can give. So I hope, inshallah, we will be in the right direction. We believe like our government, our entities, corporates, and the management in these corporates and the heads, they can run and they can deliver, let us say, direct the people, the team, to go in the right direction in the right stages. And it is not like everything will be done by HR. It's cooperation between the total or the whole companies, or let us say the society in each company or in each government sector, that they have to collaborate with HR. We know and we thanks to the other that they trust their HR team, and I believe that HR in Abu Dhabi and in other globe, they are capable actually to put and to give a right direction towards these initiatives. Thank you, everybody. Thank you all for being with us today, and inshallah, coming soon in the next Majlis. I hope to see you again, and inshallah, we will be sharing some good stories from Abu Dhabi.
Thank you all, and thank you for coming today. And inshallah, we will have a great HR Majlis in Dubai and Abu Dhabi. And thank you for your input, Sana. Thank you for your input, Abu Isa. And let's have a fantastic. We did not have a good beginning of the year, but let's conclude the year in a very positive note. Thank you all. Assalamu alaikum.
Inshallah. Thank you all.